All right, we are live. What's going on, everybody? I'm Charles Smith, the host of the T-shirt Millionaires live show. And listen, every single time I say this, it just keeps coming better and better. We got amazing guests, and today I have somebody special that I would like to introduce to everybody. Her name is Twana Moore. She is the owner of a T-shirt brand called Personally She, but even bigger than that, she has a coaching program that is called Girl Code Win. And the whole premise behind the brand is to help women and ladies that are in business win online and win with e-commerce. And so Twana, she has done something amazing this month. This is January 2021. She has went ahead and generated $33,000 in t-shirt sales to start the month. And I want to go through her strategy, her story, and what she has done to get to this point, and how she can help other women out there build their brands. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead into this intro, and then we're gonna come back and have a great conversation with Twana. What's going on, everybody? I'm Charles Smith, the host of the T-shirt Millionaires live show. And like I said, today we got an amazing guest. Her name is Twana Moore. She is a coach of Girl Code Win. And what I want to do right now is just first turn it over to Twana and let her introduce herself. So Twana, please let the audience and let the people know who you are.
What's up? Yeah, you pretty much nailed it. My name is Twana Moore. I have a t-shirt brand called Personally She. And it's been open for nearly 4 years now. Coming up on 4 years soon. And so this past year, I was able to become full-time in my business and walk away from my full-time job as an educator. And with that, I also launched my coaching business called Girl Code Win, so that I could help other women who are kind of in the same position as me, grinding, trying to manage, family life, a full-time job, excuse me, plus your business at the same time. And so so that's why I launched Girl Code Win.
Absolutely. That's amazing. So let's start from the very beginning with you, Twana. How long ago, how long have you been running Personally She, right? Because you've achieved some amazing things. How long have you been running it? And when did you start just getting in the t-shirt space, period?
So I opened Personally She June of 2017. And so, I just basically started it from a desire to have certain sayings on a t-shirt, and I wasn't finding them myself. So I was like, cool, I'll make them myself. And although I said it like it was easy, it literally took me a year to actually
right.
to actually get hustling and start doing some stuff. So
right.
And so this past year, like I said, I was able to start generating enough money for God to be like, listen, just bet on yourself. I'm showing you what I can do for you. Just do it. And it basically everything lined up perfectly because my husband got a new job in another state. So we were moving and I was going to have to quit my job anyway.
Right.
So it lined up perfectly for me.
That's amazing. So I want to kind of talk about you leaving your job, because a lot of the times that's what a lot of people want to do. There's a lot of women out there who are like, oh, I have this t-shirt brand only if I can make enough to be able to make a transition out. First, let's talk about why you were there. How were you balancing the two? How are you balancing having this business that you're trying to grow on the side, but then also you weren't just like an educator, you were high up. Weren't you like some type of VP or something like that?
Assistant principal, yes.
Yes, you were assistant principal, so you had a lot of responsibility. How were you able to do that?
So here's the thing, and this is what I tell people when it comes to balance. For me, there's no such thing. And once I accepted that, things got better for me. Because there were times like it was bad, especially when I first started the business. And I first got that little itch of being an entrepreneur. I'm like, man, forget this job. Like, I'm about to quit.
Right.
The only thing is I had a conversation with my husband, it literally just like 6 months into the business, like, hey, so can I quit my job? And he like, all right, let's talk about it. So he started running numbers down. I was like, okay, you got this, you got this, you got this. And I was like, nope. And he was like, So we going back to work, basically.
Right.
But yeah, so it was difficult. As a administrator, I had not only that quote unquote 9 to 5 hours, but we had events out after school on the weekends that we had to supervise as well. And then I had teenage sons who had their own sporting events on the weekends and in the evenings as well. So it was very difficult to try to keep it all together. But once I just accepted there is no such thing as balance, I'm never going to be able to hold all of the plates in the air at the same time. Something is going to fall. You just need to plan for what's going to fall and try to figure out how you can manage it. Then, I just started doing better from there. There were times where I may have been kicking butt in my business, but my house was a mess. And I was cooking dinner. And my husband was like, when are we going to spend some time together? So,
Right.
I went, like I said, then I got to the point where I was just like, okay, let me just schedule some time with the hubby. And then I know that I need to have orders taken care of and out, ready to go by the time that time, with hubby comes up. And that's just kind of how I managed everything from there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I think that's amazing advice. Because I think a lot of people out there who start, and especially when the entrepreneur side gets really heavy, they are looking for that balance. They're looking for it and they're trying to find it. And I think I just love the perspective of go ahead, accept that it's not there, right? But then at the same time, like you said, there's going to be something that falls. Maybe you can figure out how to delegate different things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, like in our conversation, we're going to talk about even some tasks that you delegate in your business now. So, okay. So you left, what I'm saying? You're doing your job, you balancing both. How is that feeling, Twana? How is that transition between you having your job and then you leaving and going into full-time entrepreneurship? Because I can remember when I first started, I had certain struggles. I just was a big part for me was clarity, right? It was clear. I didn't know what to focus on a day-to-day basis. But tell me about some of the good and some of the bad of making the transition to full-time entrepreneur.
Bruh, it was and is still a struggle.
Yeah.
I read a quote on Instagram that I was like, "Oh, you don't know me. Get out my business. You don't know me." But basically, it was like the same struggles you had as an employee are going to be the same struggles you take into full-time entrepreneurship. And I was like, dang. Time management is huge for me. Like I'm a bit of a free spirit when
same here.
So that was hard for me to and I still don't have a schedule set and things like that, but it's hard for me I don't scare myself. I don't hold myself accountable the way my boss was holding me accountable when I had a boss.
Wow.
And so that's been something that I've been working on too, is, making myself do the things I know I need to do, the things that I would do if I had a boss telling me to do them.
Right.
And so that's a struggle as well. But another struggle is the financial piece of it, because before I didn't need my business, the money, financially, I didn't need my business. My full-time job took care of everything. And so, making this switch now to where I need my business to fund my bills and things like that. It's like, whoo, I have to look at money differently and how I spend money.
Right. Absolutely. Well, but I think that, and I can totally get it. Like, I just remember those days. But it's almost like too, like you're building up this muscle, right? And you're building up this confidence of like, I know how to make it come in. And you start realizing you get to a point where the rewards of the risk that you took and the steps that you took are so much greater than, what you're even probably making at your job. And so I want to kind of talk about, since how long has it been since you left? How long has that been so far?
June.
Okay, June. So how was 2020 for you, right? So in the midst of a pandemic, I love to go back and talk about that. Midst of a pandemic, the world seems like it's going crazy, but there's still people out in the world thriving, right? And you are someone who thrived and you did well. How did your 2020 go?
Man, God bless me. No doubt about it.
Amen.
God Trust me. Yeah, like you said, I thrived, and it my business, it took off. And
Mm.
like, the 33,000 I made, this month, I made less than that the entire year 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, it just really, it really took off for me. And like, when I made my announcement about leaving my full time, and doing this full time, I kind of, there was also a little bit of guilt in that, because I'm like, man, there are people, like without jobs right now. And here
Mm.
I'm talking about leaving a job, and folks are looking
Mm.
for jobs, and things like that. But, at the end of the day, it was all God. And so I felt like I needed to share that testimony, and show people what he did for me. Cause like I said, he lined everything up. Like, there's nothing I did, people ask me, well, what made you decide, it was time for you? Or how did you know it was time? I was like, I didn't. God told me. It's
Right.
that God told me.
Right.
And so, yeah, that's 2020 it was good.
Right. No, that's amazing. And all praises to the Most High, man. I think we got to point to Him. And that's amazing that you were covered and allow you to experience great things, and your light and your success shined out to other people to show them what the possibilities were. And so, with that being said, I want to talk about your strategies on building a brand, because for those who don't know, y'all, everybody watching, the 90 people that we got looking right now, Twana has an amazing brand. She has a raving audience. She calls her audience the girlfriends, right? She's tapped in. As a matter of fact, I want to tell a quick story. So I ended up ordering a shirt from Twana, right? There was a shirt. It was something about standing behind a man. So something like that. She did a commercial on Instagram about, something about that. Something about women empowerment. Okay. Women empowerment. So I saw the shirt. So I was like, yeah, I know my wife will love that one. She'll love that one. So I buy my wife the shirt. My wife loves the shirt, by the way. She loves it. So she brings me the mail not too long ago, about a week ago. And I'm flipping through the mail, and then I see a postcard. And this Twana's postcard from a brand, right? Talking about the girlfriends, giving them a discount and all this thing. So point is, y'all, her people, she's tapped in. She's tapped in, and she's created an audience that is tapped in with her. So tell us about this brand. Tell us about how you built it up to where you have gotten it right now, because you've built something amazing.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Charles. Yeah, so I call my customers, my tribe, my girlfriends. And so my email club, text club, things like that is the girlfriends club. The banner addresses them, hey, girlfriend. That's just how I roll, because that's how they are to you. That's who they are to me. They're my girls. That's how I treat them. That's how I talk to them. And so that's for the most part been what has allowed me to be able to build the following and the loyalty, is because we're like girls for real. And so, a lot of that had to do with just when I was smaller, and I would get followers, and I would send them a DM like, hey, I'm Twana. Thank you so much for following me. Let me know if there's anything I can help you with, like just being very personable.
Mm-hmm.
And there are so many times I got people to respond saying, oh my gosh, I've never had a company to thank me for following them. Wow, thank you so much. And thank you for being so personable. And so it's just little stuff like that I think has just kind of have built me to that place to where they're not, people say all the time, like, people aren't buying things, they're buying from people. And so they connect with the person behind the brand, and that just comes naturally for me, because I'm a very social and relational type of person.
Okay.
And so they just make that connection with me, and it's like whatever I do, they rocking with it.
Right. Now that's amazing. So I want to go through these steps, right? So I ended up, messaging you before, and I was going through. There's a great group, Khalila's group. It's called the T class. And for everybody that don't know Khalila, y'all go find Khalila, go get in the T class. That's an amazing group. All right. So Twana post in there, and I read through the post, and I was like, this is our conversation today. That she already wrote the conversation out. All right. So Twana put the post in the T class, and she says, "This is my best month yet, and it's kicking off my best year. Yet I'm claiming it. Things that helped me get here." And so Twana has 6 steps that I want to walk through and talk about and go in depth about today that she put in this post. So the first one, Twana, you said, "I know my target audience. I mean, I really, really know my target audience." All right. So how did you get to know your target audience? For somebody out there that is at the very beginning stages, how can they learn who their target audience is?
So for me, the foundation of it was a little easier for me because I am my target audience.
Right. Okay.
I know that's not the case for everyone, but so that part, that foundational piece was easy, and it was easy for me to know like what types of sayings to put on a shirt, what types of things to say to them to really be able to resonate with them.
Mm-hmm.
But so that's the foundation of it, but it then went deeper than that. Like, I talked about how when I get followers, I would, send them a message and things like that. I would also check out their Instagram page. Like I genuinely wanted to know them on a more personal level. Like, who is this who's liking my brand? Who is this that thinks enough of my brand to hit that follow button or purchase from me? People who would tag me and things like that. And so that's another way that I was getting to know my audience by just checking out their pages, seeing what they've got going on, things like that. Also sending surveys out as well, and just asking them not only questions about personally she and the brand, but questions about them, like what type of TV shows do you watch? Like, what do you do on the weekend? Like when you don't have any work, or, where do you hang out? Things like that, to just kind of try to get to know them. And those surveys have actually been very eye-opening for me because there's been things that I've missed. And I'm like, oh, snap.
Wow.
I didn't even know that at all. So
wow.
That's been huge. Like, don't sleep on surveying your customers. Definitely.
Wow. So I think y'all, listen, for those, because I know some people be sleeping. Some people, stuff be flying over their head and all type of stuff. Listen, she just dropped some gems. She said that first off, she'll go to people's social media profile, check them out, see what they got going on, really getting to know them. But even on a deeper level, she is surveying her audience. Who does that? I can tell you, I hadn't even done that. You know what I'm saying? So that right there is extremely, extremely amazing. And, surveying your audience. Tell me, Twana, how would you do that? Would you send them emails out? How did you do that?
Yeah. So I'm a huge fan about trying to do free if there's a free, possibility.
Right.
So I'll just create a Google form.
Okay.
And I'll email it out. There are times that I even sometimes I even posted a link to it in my Instagram page as well. And then I do like a giveaway to kind of give them an incentive to want to complete it. And yeah, and so they do.
Amazing. So y'all go survey your audience. Twana knows her audience. That is one of the reasons, the very first reason she said that grew her brand.
Every quarter, there's literally, like, you can Google it. Every quarter, there's a get to know your customer day.
Wow.
There's one every single quarter. So that would be a perfect time for you to send out the surveys.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So that is bar and gem number 1 from Miss Twana Moore of Girl Code Win. So I'm going to the next point on her post. All right, we're going to number 2. Number 2, Twana says, because of number 1, I've built a tribe of girlfriends who rock hard with my brand. I love them and they love me. So Twana, how far into your brand did you start creating or calling your audience the girlfriends? When did that come along? From the jump?
Yeah.
I love it.
Beginning. And it, like I said, when I was smaller too, and I think that's also, what has built that foundation is because I was able to do a lot more of like just talking to them in the DMs. Like there's legit like customers who I've talked to in the DM so much where, like, if we were in the same city, I would hang out with them. You know what I'm saying? We've gotten that cool, and had those types of conversations to where I'm like, oh yeah, like I'm rocking with sis. I can rock with sis, and she's like, I can rock with you.
Word.
Yeah, and then the fact that my niche is also just kind of it's really honed in. My target is college educated, bougie hood Black women.
Word.
And so there's that niche that's like, there's times when people message me and they're like, thank you so much for creating a brand for us. Like, I feel so seen, like, you know what I'm saying? And so I think that right there too also kind of helps build that brand loyalty too.
Okay. No, I love it. I love it. I love it. And so, y'all think about it. Like, if there's something that you can label your tribe, like, or put some type of label on them that makes them feel like they're together as a collective, right? And connected to you. Think about that. I think that is extremely valuable. And she is reaching to the hearts of who her target audience is by calling them the girlfriend. So I love that. Now we're going to go to number 3 of Twana's recipe. All right. So number 3, she says, I've been consistently running ads since April of 2020. Now, y'all get this. I want you to hear this part right here. She says, sometimes I had to turn them off because they were bringing in more than I can handle. She had to turn the ads off because it was just too much. Who wants those type? Those are good problems. All right. And I think I remember you talking about that type of stuff. So, but it's definitely been more consistent than any other time. Oh, I also learned what the hell I was doing. That helps. All right. So talk to us about that, Twana. I think that's amazing, right? You running ads and having to turn it off, right? Because it's too. I mean, those are the problems people want. So talk to us about your experience.
Yeah, I mean, it almost was pretty much instantly, like, so I took your ads course, your live class in January of 2020. And it was, y'all, this course was 4 hours long. 4 hours long.
Oh, Lord.
I'm a hustler. Like, I got a full-time job, it's on a Saturday morning. Like, I'm pressing shirts at the same, like, I had no idea you were going to be literally walking us through how to set stuff up. I had no idea we were going to do that.
Right.
So I missed a lot. So I was like, okay, I need to go back, and watch the replay and, watch the videos in the course and things like that. Well, me and self-paced don't really.
Right, I don't know.
Yeah. But here's the thing. So, like, before that, I had run ads before,
right,
through Instagram. Mm-hmm. Until somebody told me, no, do them through Facebook. So then I started running them through Facebook, and I did great. Like, when I go back and look at my data now, still, I'm like, I would run an ad for like $75.
Right.
And once it hit that $75, I was like, whew, okay, cool, done. We're done. I did good.
Yeah.
But right now, when I look at it, and the ROA was like 4, 5.
Wow, you didn't even know what was going on.
No idea.
Wow.
No idea what I had. Right. So anyway, when I took the course and you gave so much more information, because at first, like, I sent you an email and I was like, I was kind of iffy. I was hesitant about taking the course because I've run them successfully before. I thought it was going to be too basic. Bro, my mind was blown when I left that course. And so it was just a lot. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go back and watch everything. And I didn't. I didn't watch everything at all. Yeah. I just chilled. So then you send the email about the mastermind. And I guess it was February or March. And so I'm like, okay, cool. I'll do that. I'll join the mastermind. His ad course was huge. I'd love to work with him, on a closer basis. So I joined the mastermind in March. The thing that I loved about that was that, like on your live class, we were literally walking through it right then. Like, if I have to schedule some time later on to watch a video, but if you make me sit down with you right then and do it, we're good.
Right.
And so as people ask questions and you answer questions, I was literally just changing things in my ads right then, like changing stuff like right then. And then that was March. And April, let me see. I want to say, I don't remember how much it was, but April I brought in 5 figures.
Oh, wait.
Very next month.
For sure.
And so, and I had a 5-figure month before, completely unexpected. I had a shirt that went viral and It was bananas. But yeah, at that point I was like, bruh, this is, I don't know if I can handle this.
Right.
I don't know if I can handle this. So yeah, so there were months that I had to just turn them off because I could not, because I fulfill myself. Like I do everything myself. And I would have somebody to come over and help me like package and things like that. But it was still just too much sometimes. So I had to turn them off.
Right. No, that's really good. So how long did it take you, Twana? So for the people out there who may have never ran ads before, right? Because I look at this too and say you realize what you were doing. How long did it feel like it took you to really grasp like the concept and be like, I'm confident I can get in here and I know what I'm doing? Like, what was that time frame for
you? Maybe after 2 or 3 of your live classes.
Okay,
honestly.
gotcha. Okay.
It wasn't a lot at all. Yeah, because like I said, I had already knew a little something.
Right.
And you helped me definitely better with the numbers and the data and how to understand that, and that helped me move a little further. But again, at that point, like when I was running ads beforehand, like I know my audience. I've known my audience from the beginning. So that part, the targeting was always on point for me because I knew who to target and how to target them. And so that's definitely one of the things that, made it so successful. I had, the winning targeting. I had the winning product to push in front of my target. Boom, there you go.
There you go. So for everybody listening, look at what Twana just mentioned. She said she had the winning targeting, right? She knew her audience. She knew where to find them and what interest to choose to find her audience. But she also had a winning product, right? She had some winning t-shirts and she was able to marry those together, and that allowed her to be able to grow. So as you're thinking about your ads and you trying to advertise and market, always think about those two things, right? Maybe you have the right audience, but the t-shirt isn't the right thing. Or maybe you got, like the right t-shirt, but you're not hitting the right people. So you have to make sure you have all of those things together. And that's really good. I'm glad that you shared that. But then also your timeline, y'all. So, you can get in and you can really learn the skill set. It didn't take her that long. So I love that. Now I want to go to number 4 and Miss Twana's recipe. All right. So number 4 is email marketing. Every time I send an email, I get sales. Okay. Now she wrote a little bit more, but I just want to point that out. Look, every time she ran an email, she's not talking about spending money on ads, paying to get in front of her audience. These are people that she owns in her database. And every single time she hits send, there's a sale that comes in. That is when you have true power of your business. So I want to keep reading. Every time I send an email, I get sales. If you're not using Klaviyo, listen, get it. Talk to us about email marketing, Twana, and talk to us about how that plays into the growth of your brand.
Yeah. So even before 2020, like even back when I was using MailChimp, like every time I sent the email, like I got sales. Like it just is what it is. And again, a lot of that has something to do with the copy that I'm using, because I know exactly how to talk to my customer. We're girls. Like I've had plenty of customers who tell me, like, you're talking directly to me. Like you're talking to me and you're my homegirl talking directly to me. I feel like it's a personal email. And so that's kind of the angle that I took with sending emails out. And so I wasn't always, I'm still not consistent. I've gotten much better. I've gotten much better, but there was one point, like I had an accountability group that I was in, and the coach of the accountability group would always be like, when you send out emails, you get sent, like, what is the problem?
You're going in.
I mean, it's a lot of work. Like I went to sleep at 3 o'clock this morning because I spent 2 or 3 hours trying to prepare for a new product and the emails to go off with it. So, it's definitely a place where you're missing out on money if you're not utilizing it.
Right.
And then once I switched to Klaviyo, baby,
right.
just the data and the flows, just the automation of Klaviyo is just amazing. For those of you who do not know, like Klaviyo has the ability to predict when a customer is going to purchase from you again. And then you can set up a flow to send them an email to kind of nudge them to make that purchase. Like it's crazy.
Hey, talk that talk, Twana. Go ahead and talk that talk. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Email marketing is definitely a huge part of my business too. So
I love that. And automatic sales, bringing people back, this predictive flows that she's talking about. And for those who don't know, definitely, like she said, get Klaviyo. It's definitely, as far as email autoresponders, it's perfect for e-commerce, and it's a great tool. So I love that you talked about that. And
here's the other thing with it too. Like and this is another thing that helps with that brand loyalty. Like if I send out discounts, when I release new products, it goes to my email and my text list first. Like I don't post discounts on social media. And when I release something new, it goes to my girlfriends club, first. Like they are the first to get everything. So definitely.
Good. No, solid. So y'all get on that email marketing. It's not just ads, but that email marketing. So I want to talk about this because this is something that you've spoke about and you've talked about a lot. And so number 5, Twana says, I hired a social media manager. Listen, social media is work. That's the reason they have whole jobs for it. Once I accepted the fact that I wasn't going to do it the way it should be done, I let it go. My IG engagement, following, and sales grew after that. All right. So let's talk about number 1. How did you find the social media manager? How did you do that? Like, where did they come from? How does one go out and find somebody to take care of their social media?
So funny thing is, I found her on Instagram.
That's dope.
I found her on Instagram. I kind of, there was one point where I went through different hashtags fairly often. And I found her from a hashtag. I don't remember which hashtag I found her from. But I found her. I saw in her bio that she was a social media manager. So I reached out to her. Right. And so she had like a starter price for me when I first started. So this was the beginning of 2020. She started February, and so she had a starter price for me for February and March. And then in April, her true price was gonna kick in, right? And so here's the thing. Like, I've always known what to do to grow a social media following. Right. I wasn't putting in the work. Like I wasn't doing it. I didn't take the time to do it. And so I went ahead and hired her for a starter price. Right. And that was a weight lifted off of me. She basically details out all the posts that are gonna be posted. The only thing I did was the copy for it, because I know how to speak to my audience, and so I wanted to make sure I was the person who was speaking to them and doing the caption. And so she did that for February and March. And come April, when it was time to pay that price, the real price, I was like, this was good. Thank you so much for your I really appreciate it. But she's giving me little tips, okay, well, as you continue to manage yourself, make sure you do this, make sure you do that. Let me tell you something. I didn't even make it a whole week into April.
So I need to come back, huh?
No.
Word.
This ain't gonna work. And I saw how my engagement grew. I saw how my following grew because she was putting in that time that I didn't. And I'm not even gonna say I didn't have, that I wasn't willing to put in myself. I just wasn't willing to. And so and from that, I've been rocking with her ever since.
Right. That's good. So you got somebody, your engagement went up, your social media following went up. How does that, how are you able to kind of translate that over to sales, Twana? How do you measure that? How does that work?
Yeah. So Instagram will tell you, not Instagram, Shopify will tell you. And so I put a link in my bio that and that's one of the things that one of the tips that she gave me, because at first it was just a link tree. And so my suggestion to you guys, if you have a link tree, get that link tree out of there and put a landing page directly to your web page. Because what you're doing is you're sending traffic to Linktree's website. And so if they go to the link in your bio and then something happens and they go away, they've never actually made it to your website. So I created a landing page to put in my link in bio. And you know, it included a link to the website. And so, you know, when I was looking at sales and where the traffic was coming from, I was seeing the numbers for that link in bio increasing, you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I figured out in Google Analytics, I figured out where to see exactly the exact number of conversions that was coming from that link in bio too. So yeah, and that's coming from the engagement work that they put in, you know, engaging with other accounts and engaging with the people that we follow and things like that. The stuff I wasn't really put in the time to do.
That's amazing. And I think something that I want people to catch what Twana mentioned is she paid attention to her numbers, right? The numbers, there's so many hidden gems about what works for our t-shirt brands in the numbers. And if she wasn't looking at her Google Analytics or she didn't look at her Shopify numbers, she wouldn't exactly know how that page is performing, right? So I think that is super important for you to dive in to know where your traffic is coming from, where conversions are coming from, so you can begin optimizing it. And she saw, look, this is working. Let me keep putting more energy in that area. And she hired somebody to do that. So I think that's amazing, Twana, and that's an awesome tip for sure. So, all right, I want to go to the next one for you. So that was number 5. Now we are at number 6. All right. So this is one that I think is extremely dope because this is something that you do that, you know, a lot of people don't do. And so she says, I added higher ticket items besides t-shirts. Higher ticket items means a higher average order value and more money if your costs are still low. Important. But again, back to number 1, you've got to add higher ticket items that your customers will want and pay for. Talk to us about that, Twana. Walk us through these higher price items in AOV. Speak to them. Go ahead and speak to them.
Yeah. So the funny thing is, honestly, it's been them who's been telling me like what to add. Right. And so I'm the face of my brand, not because that's how I wanted it to be. It's because I didn't want to pay models like it, like it just is what it is. So I'm in a lot of my pictures, things like that. And so, you know, when I'm styling my shirts and I'm taking pictures, I'm doing that in my own clothing. And so one of my signatures is fedoras. And people are always like, where'd you get that fedora? Where'd you get that fedora? Where'd you get those earrings? Where'd you get this? Where'd you get that? And then once I started incorporating style boards into my social media page as well and posting, you know, how to style the, you know, examples of how to style the t-shirt, you know, items, then people will start asking, oh, where can I get this item? Oh, where can I get that item?
Okay.
Talking to me. I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, y'all want this? Oh, okay. Hold on. Say that again. Okay. Start taking notes. Like, all right, cool.
Word. So I think that is that's amazing. One of the big things that I'm hearing from you is you're listening to your audience. You're paying attention, like you're operating a business, but your tentacles are up, your eyes are open, your ears are open, and you're paying attention to the feedback.
Yeah.
And then you're taking that feedback and you're adjusting to that. I think that is a powerful part of, you know, your skill set and how you're building the business.
And so, let me point out, that wasn't always the case. Like I knew pretty early in to starting my business that I wanted to go beyond t-shirts. Like I knew that I wanted to have other, you know, boutique clothing, and, you know, I wanted it to be just a full boutique that included, you know, t-shirts and accessories and clothing items as well. And so the first time I did that, you know, I went to, you know, one of the boutique shows and saw all these vendors and bought all these clothes, and oh, this is cute. Oh, that is cute. Like I still have some of that stuff today.
Right.
trash. It was horrible. And it was because, one, at that time, I still hadn't really honed in on who my target audience was. Like I was afraid to hone in at that point. Like I knew who I wanted to be my target audience, but I kept listening to people in my ear saying, "Oh, why just Black women? Like you can get money from anybody, you know." And so, and then I was buying clothes that I thought was cute, you know, and it wasn't connecting the clothes that I was buying to who my girl is, who my avatar is, and what the things were that she would like. So that was a lesson learned for me. So, you know, fast forward to when they start asking about stuff, I'm like, done.
Right. The other part that I love about it is because this is something that I hear you and a lot of ladies talk about a lot is these style boards. All right. So you create these style, and that's a big part of your marketing. Like you say, your social media of taking your t-shirt and matching it with other products so I can visually see what it can go with. How powerful is that for you? Like how'd you come up with the idea? Where did that come from? And just how does that work on your behalf?
Yeah, so I just saw them. Like I saw style boards on Instagram, and I saw them style with t-shirts. And so the first set of ones that I started to see, I just reached out to the stylist who did them. Like, hey, do you offer this as a service? You know, how can I get you to do some of these for me?
Right.
And then it just kind of took off from there. And then I just started reaching out to other stylists. And you can absolutely do it yourself. You know, I've done them myself before, but it is time consuming. It's time consuming for me. So, so that's another area I will happily pay someone to do for me.
Right. So the other thing that I want y'all to mention, y'all to see and understand is, see, Twana, she's in boss mode. You know what I'm saying? Like Twana is definitely one. And I think I told Twana this a while back. She is one that invests in herself. She is one that will outsource and get people along to help her with specific tasks, right? And a lot of people might look at it and be like, I don't want to do a style or hire somebody or social media, but that is helping her be more efficient and focusing on parts of a business that she wants to focus on, right? Or even maybe she may be better at. Let other people handle the social media or the style boards and different things. So being able to invest in yourself, I love that. I think that's a concept for growth. So
you got to look at the return on investment and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the money that I paid for these style boards, it's ridiculous the amount of money it has brought me back in return.
Right.
The amount of money I spend on my social media manager every month, like I get 3 times back in that, you know, from sales through Instagram. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at the return on investment in the stuff that you're doing. Otherwise, you're just spending money and you're not, you know, really running your business.
Absolutely. No, I think those are some amazing tips. So that was 1 through 6, Twana. So that for anybody who wants the recipe on a $33,000 month, that is part of the recipe right there. I think that's extremely valuable. And so, Twana, what I want to talk about next is, what do you say to that woman, that lady out there who's new at e-commerce? Maybe she has been doing it for a while, but hasn't gotten the results that she wants. What do you say to her to get her to continue pushing on, to get clarity? What should she focus on? What's your message to her?
Yeah, so there's a lot that goes into e-commerce. You know, you got social media, you got basically all the things I just talked about. You know, there's so much that goes into it, especially if you're doing this, you know, as your side hustle, even though I don't like to call it a part-time because I feel like I still work full-time with it. You know, especially if you have another job that you're doing at the same time. There's just a lot to manage and a lot to think about. And a lot of times, at least with me, people like me who get information overload, like I'm naturally a researcher. And so I'll go out and I'll research and I'll research and I'll research. And then I'm stuck because I've gotten so much information that I don't know what to do with.
Right.
And so the thing that helped me was to pick a focus and just focus on that. So if it's email marketing right now, if I'm, you know, researching and learning about email marketing, I'm not learning about ads. I'm not learning about growing my Instagram, so I just had to pick something and really just focus in on it from there. And so that helped me a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So with that being said, I know that you have a coaching program, which is Girl Code Win, that helps women be able to take things to the next level. So what type of services do you offer, Twana, to help women out there who are looking to grow? How can you assist them with their goals?
Yeah, so right now I have a one-on-one coaching. I have that on a one-time basis or a 4-week basis. And then I also have website audits that I do as well. And I'm working on a course. And so the course is essentially going to include all that stuff that all those 6 points that you just went through, basically. It's going to really dive into, stepping your game up in those areas and how to do that, and what I did specifically to be able to get to where I am with those things. And so, but again, sometimes when it comes to courses, if you're not disciplined to, work at a, self-paced level, then there's always the one-on-one with me as well. And we can sit down and just talk about what your specific needs are and how I can help you to take your business to the next level. So
that's amazing. And Twana, who is the ideal, who is the audience that you are working with Girl Code Win? Because I don't know. I think if I walked up in there and I was like, Twana, could I get a consult? Well, who can get a consult with us?
So I've done consults with men.
Okay.
I've done consults with men, but my focus is women who are already, have already started an e-commerce business, and they've already, they've started doing some things and have seen some success, but they just aren't being able to take it further. And so, again, because there's so much that goes into it, a lot of times we can get stuck and not really know where to go and what to focus on and things like that. And so, so my target is, women in e-commerce who just basically want to take their store to the next level.
Absolutely. So for all the women out there, e-commerce store, you're looking to get started, you need clarity, you want somebody who has already walked the path, already hit a lot of the highs and lows, knows the landscape, want to be able to get to your goals faster. I want you to reach out to Twana. Twana, where can everybody find you? Where can they contact you if they like, look, I want to go ahead and sign up for this one-on-one today? Where can they find you at, Twana?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I am Girl Code Win, and then the website is girlcodewin.com. And a couple of the top 6 that he went through, a couple of them included target audience. And so if you are still trying to figure out, how to really narrow down and figure out who your target audience is, I do have a target audience worksheet, and you can get that on the link to Instagram. There's a link in my bio that will take you to that worksheet to, help you out there. And then, hopefully you can at least get a basic start to who your target audience is. And then if you need help going deeper, then I can help you with that too.
Absolutely. Well, look, Twana, we truly appreciate your time. This has been extremely valuable. You done dropped 1,000,000 gems on everybody. You giving people something to think about, you know what I'm saying? Something to go home and implement. I can see it in my mind. People going to be running, trying to find how to do style boards, you know what I'm saying? And find social media managers, you know what I'm saying? But for everybody who is interested, please, this lady, she knows what she's doing. She's built something amazing, and not just customers, but a tribe, right? I saw somebody in the comments put a little bit earlier, you know what I'm saying? Her vibe attracts her tribe. You know what I'm saying? I think that's amazing. So Twana, we appreciate you. We thank you so much for sharing your time and your information and resources today. And we wish you so much success as you continue to move forward.
And I thank you, bro, because you are a huge part of why I am where I am right now. So,
oh man, humble. Many blessings to you. All praises. All right, Twana, be blessed. We'll be in touch.
All right. Bye, guys.
All right. See you. All right. Hey, another one. What DJ Khaled say? Another one. Listen, man, y'all go follow Twana. I want y'all to go follow her. You can look her up at Girl Code Win. You can go to girlcodewin.com. she drops some extreme jewels, right, that can help you grow your t-shirt brand. I want you to come back to this interview, listen to it a few times, over and over, right? I always say repetition is the father of learning. A lot of that stuff might have just went right over your head, right? But you're going to catch it if you watch it again. But look, if I could recommend anybody for women who are looking to grow, take their brand to the next level, go ahead and follow Twana. Go check her out. If you need some help right now, go ahead and get that one-on-one social media management, style boards, target audience, ads, email marketing, right? Instant e-commerce is just not one little component. It's about learning how to take all these different components and put them together, right? So you can have a system that generates on your behalf. All right. So with that being said, I'm out, man. I'm done. I'm finished. I truly appreciate every single person that watches this. We got 131. I think we capped out probably around 140 some people today. I'm so thankful of everybody who just takes notice and listens and spends their time. I'm going to continue trying to find the best minds, the best brands, suppliers, and people that can help further your knowledge. And until again, man, remember what I always say. If you can see it in your mind's eye, one day you can be able to see it with your real eyes. Many peace and blessings. We'll definitely be in touch. Y'all